So half-life is the amount of time it takes a radioactive substance to go down by 1/2 its original weight or mass or whatever, okay? Mass. So if I start with 30 ounces of some substance and the half-life is 56 years, then 56 years go by and I'm at 15. And another 56 years go by and I'm at 7.5. And you keep cutting it in half every 56 years. So that means technically it never goes away, but it does get to a point where it's not toxic or whatever. Does everybody know what Chernobyl is?
Yeah.
A nuclear reactor basically melted down and could not be cooled and caused an explosion in Chernobyl in 1986. And people are living there, but people are also dying of cancer. Some people have gone back to live there, but they shouldn't live there.
Yeah, because it's pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah. So the formula we're going to use for half-life, there we go. I don't know what's happening. Is going to be the A equals PEKT. So these problems have kind of 2 steps to them, all right? So the top ones are basic ones and the bottom ones say intermediate. We'll figure it out. So the half-life of a foul-smelling substance is 4 years. So that is your half-life. These are a little bit different than what we've been doing. Sometimes you have to go find a number first. If you have 8 ounces of this strange substance today, how much will you have after 20 years? Okay? So what is 20 going to be? Which letter? T is 20. And what is the 8? What's 8 going to be? You've got that right? Your P, your initial. And they want to know A after 20 years. So this one, you have to find the K first. So this is really 2 problems in one, okay? We're going to first find K. So I'm going to write another problem that has nothing to do with this problem. We're going to find K first. If the half-life is 4 years, that means in 4 years, it's going to go from 2 to 1. You can use any 2 numbers, but your ending balance has to be 1/2 of your beginning balance. So I always use 2 and 1. All right? You can use 150 or 50 and 25, whatever you want. Don't use decimals because you're just asking for trouble, okay? So when 4 years is the time it takes to go from 2 to 1, can we find K? We can find K. So this is going to be 0.5 when you divide 1 divided by 2. It's always going to be 0.5 because okay, equals e to the 4K. Variables in the exponent, we need ln. ln base e of 0.5 equals 4K. Divide by 4. I don't want you to round these numbers. When you find K, write it out all the way. Okay? So your K, we're not going to round K. The more you round K, the more invalid your answer is going to be because it's going to be a really weird decimal. It is a negative. So K equals negative 0.173286791. And now I'm going to put it in this formula here. So we do A equals 8 times e to that number and times 4. Just found the half-life. You get that? So you use the first information to find the k. So the ln of that ugly number here, which is 30 divided by 412, equals 79k. We find the ln of that divided by 79, and we get that k is this number way up here. And now we have k. So how do we find the half-life of something? Give me some ideas. When I'm finding half-life, I'm looking for the time it takes for that substance in my refrigerator that disappeared over 79 days. I want to know how long it takes for it to go from 412 to really 206, right? But I had to find K with that information and then use that K to find the half-life. You understand? So when you put that in the calculator, you get that T equals 20.9 days. So 7 ounces of radioactive substance were left in your sister's handbag at a party. Oh my gosh. I know. What kind of parties is she going to? All right, so that's your beginning balance. After 8 hours, that's your time. Only 2 ounces were left, so your ending balance is 2. What is the half-life? Okay, so first we need to find K. So we do A equals P E 8K. So if we have 2 sevenths equals e to the 8K, then ln of 2 sevenths equals 8K. So do ln of 2 sevenths divided by 8. And K is this ugly number right here.
Wait, so why'd you put a 2 there?
So when we find the half-life, our ending balance is 1, our beginning balance is 2, and our K is that number down there. So we just need to find T. So we do 1 equals 2e to the negative 0.1565953711 t. So that would be 0.5 equals e to the that, negative 0.15 to that t. So we have ln of 0.5 divided by negative 0.1565953711 equals t. So ln of 0.5 divided by second answer, because I have that on my calculator, and I get that the half-life of this substance is 4.43, and that's in hours, which makes sense because it took 8 hours to go from 7 to 2, and we only needed to get to 3.5, 3.5, right? So it makes sense that it takes a little less than 8 hours to get to a bigger amount.
Why did